must require.
Fire hunting bow. Need it. Beamwire tripcaster. I might need it. Scalding spike thrower. Maybe. Maybe no.
Another time.
That's new. Micah Cardori, Raul Bishop. Bonavita appearance. Raul, saw your message. Thanks. I suspect foul play. Senator Medina is a political animal. I'm pretty sure we are pawns in some kind of scheme to make the most out of her planned visit here, even if it means turning us into roadkill on the Beltway. Let me look into it before we talk about a PR strategy, okay? No need to escalate right now. Let me first call Bonavita and see what's what. The center has been known to test the voters before committing to anything. And as far as I can tell, she hasn't responded to Sonia's statement yet. I think is what? Which I think is telling. Regardless, we need the senator to visit us as planned. Our standing with pro-reconciliation groups depends on it. You have resources? You do. Do you sell Slitherfang stuff? You don't. You only sell like common stuff, okay. Burning enemy damage plus 18%, explosion damage plus 12%, knockdown damage 25%, multiple enemy damage, okay. Purge water 15%. Alright.
Their shards until they are spent.
We won't let Regal.
Down a Ravager the last time I was out in the wilds. Good day.
I finally earned enough network from the hunting grounds to trick.
So many data points. Micah Caldori to Sonia Buenavita. Sonia, glad we could talk just now. I know we have our differences, but I feel we share a common interest in keeping memories of the Hot Zone crisis alive. A museum is a living thing with exhibits being discussed all the time. In the future, whenever you have suggestions, I will be happy to discuss them before you commit to interviews. I hereby confirm in writing we have reached the following agreements. Ari, Santa Maria Medina's visit. 1. The museum route will be altered to accommodate the senator's wishes. USRC displays in room 2 and 4 will be temporarily switched out. My team will update you on the precise items we'll show, but rare earth history will be the main focus. I can confirm we will have Roberto Medina's combat uniform, the desert camo one, in-house on time. It will be prominently displayed in the main hall along with artifacts Miss Medina bestowed on the university on the museum back in May. Photo ops. Designated press zones include the main hall front, rooms 4 and 5 excluding 5.2, and the Crater Memorial. Kindly ask the center to walk outside no later than 7:30 p.m. Outside conditions will be suboptimal after that. Heavy dust and low sunlight will ruin the pics. Your office will run the press list. If you could confirm your retraction of earlier statements to the press, we are good to go. What? What just happened? I have no idea what just happened. Also a Marrow Breaker, Warrior, Survivor, which I already have.
You are preparing to leave. You need supplies?
No. Because you don't have anything.
Many will falter. Let it be done.
With everything that's happened, I feel like
Your move?
But
Hello.
I know. Thinking.
I'll join
how can the strike be expert but the armor be really bad?
Yeah, he won't shut up about it. One mark
What for
thinks
strength?
he's good enough to challenge me.
Be guided by the 10.
Let us open our negotiations.
only try, and I hope I'm good.
No, I don't need medium. Oh, I do need though this.
That should help you stand out. That's a nice color.
It has been too long. Level 10, I wish. I've learned so many marks.
It'll keep, but don't wait forever.
Do not know how to count. Tremor tough.
Pack's full. I can get it from my stash later.
Wait. Is this not the exit? Oh, this was the exit. What? Oh yeah, here we go.
You've come this far. We will stand by you. You are the tip of the spear.
We won't let Regala take the grove.
Okay, dudes, before we do this, I want to take a quick bio break. Shouldn't be more than a minute. Let me TP here and give me like a minute. I'll be right back.
Snowfall's blanketing the land. I just noticed that I just need like what 33 experience points to get to the next level. Just noticed that. Alright, let's save here. Make a manual save because if this locks me into, well, completing the quest locks me into a main quest, then I'm not turning it in at all for another few days.
Now this focus thing's trying to kill me?
You did almost drown it in beer.
Not on purpose.
Aloy, there are more supplies in the chest. Help yourself.
Oh, I will.
this for the team, Erend. Come on.
Aloy, I'm glad you have returned, and I see you have recovered Ether.
Nice.
With the acquisition of Ether, Poseidon, and Demeter, my heuristic processing density has expanded greatly. I should now be able to absorb Hephaestus, and fortunately, we have made progress on a plan to capture it. With Varl's encouragement, Beta analyzed all available information on Hephaestus. Its expansion has been rampant. It is too large to be beamcast, and the kernel you have been using could never hold it. Therefore, it must be contained in a location with a direct physical connection to me. A place with 2 data cores.
2 cores? Where would we find a place like that?
Gemini.
An abandoned cauldron in the desert west of here. Seismic activity disrupted the original construction. 2 data cores were built as a result.
I know that place. It's near the Desert Clan's capital.
Yep.
I'll have to bring you there by hand.
I have devised a blueprint for a suitable, albeit unwieldy, transport rig. It will require 2 people to carry it to Gemini.
I can help.
Once I am installed on the first core, I will call down Hephaestus on the other, trapping it. I will then initiate the merge. However, in order to construct the rig, I will need considerable help.
Can you build it? I suppose I could, but it's not gonna work. The Zeniths will find you. Minerva won't be able to conceal your location.
That is correct. Absorbing Hephaestus will create a significant power surge, easily detected by anyone capable of noticing.
But what if there were multiple power surges? To fake out the Zeniths? If Erend, Zoe, and Katalo spread out to the other cauldrons and create their own surges, would those conceal the one at Gemini?
Analyzing. Such a tactic might be effective. With Beta's help, we should be able to build a set of handheld pulse generators.
I told you it's not gonna work. I did a test. Hephaestus has written Alpha clearance out of its access module. You'll never be able to capture it. Then we need a higher level of clearance. There is no higher... Ted Pharaoh's Omega clearance. The one he used to purge the Apollo database and kill the Alphas. But to get it, you would have to find Thebes. The private bunker he retreated to when the world ended, and nobody knows where that is, not even the Zeniths. Their only intel was that it was somewhere in San Francisco. That might be all I need. Alva, the Quen diviner I met, said her people had set up a base at landfall. They were searching for data in San Francisco from there. She might be able to help. So I guess I'm headed all the way west. While I'm gone, will you be able to build the rig and the pulse generators? I'll try.
I'll make sure she has what she needs.
Okay.
Alva said the Quinn have a ferry on the coast that they use to get to the ruins of San Francisco. That's where I need to go.
This is Alva's area. Okay. So we are probably gonna have to clean up a bit of this, at least, before we go there. At least this half of it. Directly this way. Talk to Zoe. Pharaoh's tomb.
I have managed to unlock an additional room near the servers.
Understood. Hi, Gaia.
Hello, Aloy.
A progress. Beta.
Beta's convinced we won't be able to capture Hephaestus. With that attitude, do you really think she'll be able to build the rig and pulse generators?
It may take some coaxing, but with some assistance, I am confident she will.
I don't get her, Gaia. She's so quick to assume we'll fail. She's nothing like what I thought she'd be. I guess it'll be best if she stays here when we go to Gemini.
Companions.
How's Kotallo doing?
I have detected that the loss of his arm still deeply pains him. In an effort to remedy this, I have discussed a potential solution with him. I believe he will want to fill you in on the details.
A solution? I'll check in with him when I can, then.
Companions.
All this data I've picked up in ancient bunkers and ruins. I guess I never really thought that other people would be looking at it.
Based on my observations, your companions engage quite frequently with this material. Erend has asked on numerous occasions about birthday parties. He appears perplexed by the tradition of serving a sweet confection, as it conflicts with the Oseram tradition of serving sparkling stout ale. He also suggested we host a party for you, as a surprise.
Well...
yeah, no thanks.
That is what I predicted.
Well, Gaia, you just ruined the surprise. Of course no one's gonna say yes to a surprise party when the surprise is gone.
Is Kotallo getting along with everyone?
Yes, though he prefers to spend most of the time alone. He appears to be collating data on war machine progression and significant battles during the Pharaoh Plague, to aid in the creation of a war map of Operation Enduring Victory. I believe he aims to study the tactics of Old World warfare.
I'd be interested in seeing that.
It appears to be a private pastime for him. He has repeatedly declined my offers to assist his research.
So Gaia is basically spying on everyone else and we are just gossiping.
So now that you have Ether, Demeter, and Poseidon, how's the biosphere looking?
In the local region, conditions have improved. Superstorms have subsided, water sources have been purified, and soil conditions remediated. These improvements will stave off environmental collapse for a few additional months.
Well, with luck, soon you'll have Hephaestus. Then you'll be able to fix the biosphere for good, right?
Correct. I will be able to design and produce robotic agents to permanently reverse the environmental damage that has accumulated.
Omega clearance.
There's something I've been wondering. How could Ted Faro create a clearance level higher than Alpha? Elizabeth made sure he wouldn't interfere with the project.
It is plausible he tasked his own engineers with creating a backdoor to the Zero Dawn system, without Elizabeth's knowledge. My predecessor did not even know of its existence until he activated it to purge the Apollo database. It is, in effect, a blind spot, one that will allow us to subdue Hephaestus. And fortunately, thanks to Beta's information, we know where Omega clearance may be procured.
Right. Somewhere in San Francisco. So our plan to capture Hephaestus. Let's go over it again.
As you wish. Thanks to Beta's test, we now know that Hephaestus will not respond to your Alpha clearance. Which is why you will need to procure Ted Faro's Omega clearance.
Right. From his personal bunker, Thebes.
While you are gone, I will assist Beta in building the transport rig and pulse generators. When we get to Gemini, I will need to be installed on one of the facility's cores. The second core is for Hephaestus. Using Omega clearance will allow you to trap it.
And then you'll be able to absorb it.
Not quite. You will need to manually remove Hephaestus's malicious code before the merge.
How long will that take?
There are calculations I still must run, but I estimate a few hours.
Oof.
And during that time, the others will create a distraction for us using the pulse generators, right?
Correct. They will each take position at a cauldron door and fire off their device. The energy surge should mask our activities until the merge is complete.
And then we'll have everything we need to defeat the Zeniths. Sounds like a plan.
About the old world. Old world discoveries.
The processor Ether was installed on was part of an ancient war museum. A memorial to something called the Hot Zone Crisis. Do you know anything about it?
My knowledge of historical events was unfortunately lost with the Apollo database. However, climate data indicates a peak in regional temperatures in the 2030s. Such conditions would see extreme, prolonged droughts, an increase in dust storms, and a loss of habitable landmass.
But they wouldn't have built a museum in the middle of a wasteland. So I guess things got better eventually.
Yes. Data suggests that temperatures return to average levels in the clawback era of the 2040s.
There was an ancient tank embedded in the bulwark, buried under a bunch of boulders. Any idea how it got there?
During the Pharaoh Plague, the US military resumed the use of human combatants, as automated machinery was unreliable. It is possible the vehicle was part of a pre-automated war fleet.
So they fought against the Pharaoh machines in the valley, until the mountain was blasted apart and buried them.
Likely. Well, Gemini.
So Gemini has 2 data cores. I've never seen a cauldron like that. But you mentioned something about seismic activity?
When my predecessor attempted to build the cauldron, construction was disrupted by a series of earthquakes. The data core had already been built, but the rest of the facility sustained damage. So, she began again. A second core was built. However, when more tremblers occurred, she abandoned the site.
Lucky for us. Are the quakes still happening?
No, though they did also create instabilities in other facilities in the region.
Ah, that's how we got the. That's how I think the cauldron was in. Well, the tallneck in the other cauldron was. Left. Left as in well, how the tall neck was
See you later, guy.
stuck in the other
Until next time,
cauldron.
Aloy.
There. Let's see what we got.
An excellent choice.
I like it. Only issue is they vanish. Wish they would return when you come back inside here, rather than just the black screen. Maybe it's a design choice because some of the holographics won't.
I'm quite certain that it's a unique.
Won't be okay otherwise. Like
I know
Luke
that.
okay.
But if there were two of me walking around,
I'd run for the hills and never look back.
come on, I'm being serious.
So am I.
What's this I hear about you going west?
Turns out we need one last thing before we can grab Hephaestus.
Because it would have been too easy otherwise.
I was hoping you could help me with something. It's about the Tenakth rebels, and it also has to do with the Oseram.
Really? That doesn't sound good. Let me know what I can do to help.
Companions.
I made a new friend while I was getting ether.
Yeah, I've seen him. Katalo's a broody fella. You do know the Carjas say these Tenakth drink people's blood?
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you trust him, so do I.
Anything happen I should know about?
Zoe asked us to help her bring more plants in here. Not for eating, apparently. Yeah, if you ask me, the place is fine as it is. You know, metal might be plain, but it's sturdy. Nothing wrong with that. Who needs a bunch of vegetation?
How are
It
things
looks.
with Katalo?
It looks green. Green is nice.
Oh, she thinks she's funny. Actually, I asked if it'd be interested in playing a game of Strike. I had to fill in most of the conversation myself, but I'm still alive.
Glad to hear it. Bet you're used to that focus by now.
Well, I can hit machines in their weak points. I guess that's something. I wish all the other data was as easy to deal with. Now, to be honest, it's hard to understand half of what's on there. And then the other half reminds me, this isn't a fight you can win by just waving a hammer. Which is kind of what I do. But hey, that just means I gotta study harder. Make myself useful.
Just give it time. How are things with Katalo?
Oh, actually, I asked if I to, but I'm
glad to hear it. You've been looking at any interesting data?
I asked Gaia to find me something to look at a while back, and she found the mother of all forges. They called it sports. Turns out the old ones spent a lot of time tackling and punching each other for points in one game or another. Are you mixing some solid food and fresh ale? I bet half the claim will be lining up to watch.
True. That's true.
I discovered an Oseram militant group. They call themselves the Sons of Prometheus. It looks like they're the ones overriding machines for the Tenakth rebels.
I thought that was something only you could do.
They're familiar with ancient tech, and they're as anti-Carja as it gets.
So, last year we stopped Durval and his cronies from blowing up Meridian in retribution for the Red Raids. And now you're telling me we have another group of Oseram trying to wipe out the Carja with an army of machines and bloodthirsty Tenakth?
Pretty much.
Oh, well, that's just great!
Is there any way you can help me find out who they are? Anything to track them down and stop them?
Yeah, I can send out some messages from Chain Scrape. Get in touch with my contacts in the claim, see what I can find out.
I'd appreciate that.
Okay. Probably gonna be another side
I need
quest.
to get going.
I think I know the answer, but are you sure you don't need any help? Gaia mentioned this other tribe you found, the Quen. They sound like a nasty bunch.
I can handle them. In the meantime, Varl will help you get ready for what comes next.
Take care of yourself, Aloy.
Aloy, you're here. Did you meet with the Quen already?
Not yet.
After all the trouble you went through getting those subfunctions, seems unfair you have to deal with these Quen on your own too.
It's safer this way. They think I'm Sobek, or something like that. They won't hurt me, but I doubt they'll be so kind to anyone else.
If you say so. Let me know if you need anything before you go.
Did Kotallo find his way here?
Zoe picked out a room for him. He's kept to himself for the most part.
He's not much of a talker.
So I've noticed. Tried paying my respects for those who fell when we were ambushed at the embassy. Told him I'd never seen anyone throw themselves at a machine like he did. He said a warrior shouldn't be praised for fulfilling their duty. For a second I thought I was talking to my mother. Never thought a Tenakth and a Nora war chief could have so much in common.
Oof.
You better not be slacking off on your studies while I'm gone.
And risk Zoe coming after me? I value my life. In fact, I've been reading about Ted Faro. How he destroyed the world and crawled into a hole after killing those who saved it.
He definitely was a piece of work.
He definitely was.
I hope Zoe's not upset I'm distracting you from your training.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about that.
What do you mean? What happened?
Well, before Zoe found a way to fix the land gods, I suggested that when Gaia was fully restored, she could just make new ones.
Well, once we get Hephaestus, that's definitely a possibility.
That's what I said, but I guess there was something about my tone she didn't like. She got pretty raw, said I didn't understand the way her tribe feels about those machines. Which is true, of course, and the last thing I'd ever want to do is dismiss their traditions. But I was trying to look at things differently, more like you know? To see a machine as just a machine.
Yeah, I guess I led you into trouble there, didn't I?
Not your fault. Don't worry.
Hope you
Did you
made.
talk to Zoe after your fight?
I suffered through a few hours of glaring silence. Then she seemed to move on. Sort of. How do people do this? How do I know if the next thing I say won't blow up in my face? What if an apology is not enough next time?
You give her a stuffed animal?
You're the worst. You know that?
What makes you think I know anything about any of this? You're on your own.
Abandoning me again, huh? Well, if she kills me next time, it's on you.
Well, Beta and Gaia built the rig. Can you get everyone ready for the mission ahead?
Of course.
What is it?
Nothing. It's just that everything's about to change. We'll get Gaia, and she'll help us set things right. No more Zeniths, no more derangement. It'll be a different world. I welcome it, but I wonder how the Nora will react. And the Karja, and well, everyone.
Let's just focus on fixing Gaia for now.
You're right. We've got an angry AI to take down.
If I get Omega clearance, and then we grab Hephaestus, we might finally have the advantage over the Zeniths.
Can't wait to see their faces as they stare down a bunch of charging Thunderjaws.
Better them than us, for once.
True.
I'll be in
I have a
touch
feeling
if I need
it's
anything.
We'll be ready.
it's not gonna be that
Everyone's
easy.
on the pulse generators as well.
Good.
I'll talk to Zol last.
When I met Hikaru, I figured he was just another bloodthirsty warlord. But Fashav was right. Hikaru wants peace. It won't be easy. But with his new marshals, Maybe his vision has a chance.
Maybe.
Beta is so frustrating. I don't get how she can be so negative all the time. I mean, we're clones of the same woman, and yet... she couldn't be more different from Elizabeth.